Hi you guys, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Brooke if you guys are new here, and today, wow, I can't believe it, you guys. It's been a year since I quit my job famously. So yeah, if you guys are new to my channel or newer, you might not know, about a year ago, well, I guess a year to the day, or like I might be like one day off from when I'm posting this, I decided to leave my full-time job to pursue YouTube full-time. I worked in sales and I got that job after I graduated college, worked there for a few months, and then this has been my life for a year now. I haven't watched this video since I quit my job, and I'm really excited to watch it with you guys today. And then at the end of the video, I'm going to just kind of like summarize what this year has taught me, like pros and cons of what I do now, like kind of more freelance work, regrets, things I've learned, all of that will be discussed at the end. But I just thought it would be so funny to react to this video because I haven't watched it yet since I posted it. And a lot changes in a year, I will say that. I'm talking to you guys now from my New York City apartment. This was when I lived in Boston, so it's gonna be a real throwback for me. A lot changes in a year. Be sure to subscribe if you guys are new here, and without further ado, let's get into it. Probably gonna be pretty cringy. I don't love watching myself back. Oh my gosh, I cried. I used to wake up so early for work, you guys. This was, yeah, you can see in the background that this was 5:45 in the morning. I don't know how I did it. Today's the day I'm quitting my job. Honestly, just feel like I'm 22, I'm young, and I really want to pursue stuff that I'm really truly passionate about. Love that. I've acquired so many skills from this job. I still believe that I learned a lot from the job. I feel like I even look different. Like I mean, I know my hair was shorter and darker, and now it's like lighter and longer, but wow, I just feel like I look different. And yeah, I definitely agree with that. I learned so much from working a real job. Skills that definitely transferred over. I am so lucky that I'm in a financial position where I can walk away from a job. I'm so blessed. I'm like thankful for all of you guys for, you know, watching my YouTube channel, or still feel the same. I wouldn't have a job if it wasn't for you guys, so that's the truth. Wait, how many followers did I have on Instagram back then? I want to look at this. I had 61.9 thousand followers on Instagram, and now I have 97. That's a pretty big growth in a year. All right, we get it, Brooke. This vlog is really boring. Wow, my last drive up to work. Driving to work. I don't really miss working in an office, honestly. I didn't really miss the stuffiness of it. So corporate. I haven't seen this view since I had left, obviously. So this is a throwback. I don't want to say I'm unemployed, but like, it's funny to say I'm unemployed. I'm not unemployed, but I technically like do make money in other ways. So like I have an income, but like, I was so overwhelmed in that moment. So I guess I'll tell you guys how it went. My manager was in his office early this morning. I let him settle in for 15 minutes or so. I'm very lucky that I like made such amazing friends, and like, I know not everybody has it. I remember, so I cried in this video about how amazing my work friends were, and a lot of you guys commented like, Brooke, chill, like what the heck? There's no way that like they're that good of friends or whatever it is, and you guys were right. So let me just say that. I'll listen to you guys more often. I always do, but what? But I do think who you surround yourself with, like in the moment, it definitely made it more fun to go to work because it was like a fun environment, and I liked who I was surrounding myself with in the moment. So I definitely agree with that in a sense. Like when you're getting a job, definitely keep in mind like the coworkers and like the work environment. So definitely, yeah. What the heck? Why was I crying so hard though? This was a little baby. Then I turned it around. I was like, I'm sure you know about, you know, my outside stuff. Things have just really ramped up, and you know, I want to allocate my full time towards that. Like it feels so weird because I was like ramping myself up for it for the past few days, and now I'm sitting here, I'm like, I'm never gonna be back here again. And boy, does it feel good. I will say that. What a ride it's been. Tech sales, holy crap. It's a grind, baby. It's so weird not having to have a formally like person to report to. Like I have no boss, I have no professors. Like it's just me in the world, which I think I'm gonna really like. But at the same time, I know I might get a little lonely, so I do want to join a co-working space or something like that. And I would say that's one of the toughest parts about working for yourself, is I identified it right off the bat. It's just the loneliness, especially if you work for yourself and from home, then it becomes incredibly lonely. But yeah, places like co-working spaces and networking with other people in your industry definitely help, but I identified it. Smart gal a year ago. All right, well, peace out to this corporate park. Yeah, my manager was just not expecting the conversation to pivot like that. I was like, I'm really busy and unfortunately I have to quit. And he was like, what? Like he legit like mind blown. That was actually crazy. It's so funny. Then the rest of this vlog, I literally pack up my stuff. I had the flight already booked and then I go to Georgia and I see my friends and everything. What is my life? Wow. Okay, so I will say in watching that, a lot of my thoughts were still the same and I think I was able to predict, you know, how I would feel and things like that. But a lot changes in a year. I think you grow a lot as a person. That year was, I say it a lot because it was so important to me, just in terms of lessons and loss of friendship and just a lot. Obviously moving taught me so much, but overall I am really grateful for that experience still, and I'm so grateful that I documented it all the way through, that I have that to look back on. That's pretty cool. So now we're going to talk about the pros and cons of working for yourself versus working a traditional job, slash like this is more my experience. This isn't like just in general pros and cons because obviously everybody's experience is different. We'll start with the cons of, I guess, like not working a traditional job in my case. One major thing is that it's just not very stable. And I knew this going into it too. With social media in general specifically, it fluctuates a lot. I'll have 1 month that is like incredible, off the charts, like couldn't be better, and then I'll have 1 month where it's like really low in terms of growth or in terms of sponsorships, in terms of opportunities, finances overall. It's definitely something that I've learned to have to manage and have a more balanced relationship with. Another con, obviously, of working for yourself, or in my case working from home still. I mean, I know we're in a pandemic so a lot of people are working from home anyways, but for me, I just don't have socialization really with my job. Of course I talk to you guys and I podcast and stuff like that, but in terms of really doing it with other people, it's not really so much, or it's really minimal. And I have people that I work with, like my manager and my agent and certain people that I connect with in the industry, but it's not like a day-to-day check-in versus I feel like when you work in an office, not only do you see your coworkers every day, you probably have weekly meetings and just like set things in your calendar. And to some people that's like annoying and like whatever, but I'm a pretty extroverted person, so I actually relied on that sort of thing. Another con, no routine. And there really is no routine. When people ask me like what's a typical day in your life, there's really no 2 days that are the same. It depends like what my focus is that day. I also like really let my intuition lead a lot of the things I do. So if I wake up and I'm like in the mood to film a video, I'll make sure I film a video that day. If not, then I'll like do the other stuff. That's where I try to like incorporate that more balance. But at the same time, I don't miss waking up at 5:45. That was ridiculous. But sometimes I miss the element of routineness where I would, you know, go to work and like do my set things at work and then come home. But then I hated coming home and having like no time left. That was pretty miserable actually. I think the element of routine is a nice thing, to just know that every day you kind of like know what's coming. But I'm a more spontaneous person anyways, so I guess it's fine. I feel like freelancers in America, or like just self-employed people, kind of have it tough because we don't get health insurance. Obviously you have to pay for it out of pocket in terms of setting up a retirement fund or 401k, or you don't have a 401k, you do like a Roth IRA or some other things because you don't have a company to do that. Like that would be paying you. So it's tough. You have to be way more on point with managing that sort of thing. Right now I'm in a good spot because I'm back on my parents' health insurance, but when I turn 26, I think I get kicked off. So I guess we'll cross that bridge when we get there, and I'll just start paying out of pocket. And then we'll go into the pros. Okay, for me, it's just way more flexible. Today I went and got lunch with some friends, and then now it's like in the evening time and I'm working now, and I'll work till a little bit later and then I'll stop, and then, you know, I could do a little more work from my bed if I want to. I feel like you set the hours when you work for yourself, like whether that be working more or less. For me, when I did both, obviously I was just extremely overworked. I think it's great to have a healthy side hustle and stuff like that, but for me I felt like the work never truly ended because I would come home from the one thing and just have to catch up on everything else. But I think that if you can do it with balance, it's nice. For me personally, there's a higher earning potential. I know this varies like job to job, of course, but that is a huge pro for me because it's really, my earnings right now are uncapped. Capped meaning like there's like a ceiling on it, and I never really understood what that meant until I started working. So like for example, at my job, even if I hit, it was like a bonus structure, so you got your base pay and then like bonuses quarterly, but only if you hit the bonuses. I actually did get 1/4 of bonuses even though I was only there for a short time, but it was really nice. But basically the bonuses, like even when you max them out, like you're the top performer, there's a limit of them and there's a ceiling, so you can't earn above a certain number. So I really like that for me with my work now. When I work harder or when I put in more work, or when I am doing something unique and different, or whatever it is, I see the benefit, and I really appreciate that about working for myself. I'm just a person like that though. I've always been very independent and more so driven by that element. I just don't really work well when someone's telling me exactly what to do, if that makes sense. So I think in that case and the financial case, it's nice for me to like kind of visualize for myself there really is no limit. It allows me to like have a grander vision for my life and think more creatively and stuff. I know that sounds so like crazy, but it really does. This is a big one. No boss or micromanagers. I just said I'm not crazy about having a boss. I never really have liked it. I know that this isn't the best way of thinking, and trust me, like I've had bosses before, so like I've done it. But I like to do things the Brooke Michio way. I like to do things my way. I'm pretty intuitive and I know what works for me, and I know kind of how to do that. So I feel like for me, it's just hard to take orders from someone else. I didn't really specifically have like a micromanager. One of the like desks that I sat in was really, really close to my manager, and I just felt like he was like kind of on top of me all the time, even though he actually wasn't, but physically he was just so close. So I really didn't appreciate that. That was just like a little thing. So I really like having no micromanagers. That's really nice. Okay, now we're gonna go into the things that I've learned. Just a few things that I wrote down over the past few days when I was thinking about all this and like reflecting. Number one is, which I guess this is kind of contradictory, but you don't have to follow a certain path just because it's expected of you / like society kind of tells you what to do. It's your life, and don't let anybody tell you different. Now for me, I really fell into this trap a lot when I was applying for jobs in the first place. I remember telling some of my roommates like I would love to do YouTube full-time, but like I don't know, I just kind of like feel like I have to get a job. I was about to graduate from college with a 4-year degree in marketing from a great school. I was in business school. Like I just felt like that's what I had to do. And in retrospect, I'm so glad that I did it, but I just wish that I had that more of a mindset of like who kind of cares what people have to say. Because I think that that moment when you stop caring about what other people are going to say about you is when you truly start living. And that's something that I still deal with. Of course, I'm not perfect. I think a lot of people, which I feel for you, I really don't deal with this. My parents are so open-minded and like amazing about everything. But I know some people who have parents who might be guiding them in one direction or the other because of what they do, or, you know, you feel pressured to do something because of whatever, what friends will say about you, and you really can't live your life by that. You can't. Number two, there's always time to change what you want to do or kind of like switch up your goals. I think that so many people, also I see a lot of, you know, older people, whether you be in your 30s or 40s, kind of have that panic of, wow, I'm not doing what I want to do. And in my opinion, it's never too late to switch it up. Of course, like it sucks that if you are climbing a corporate ladder in one kind of category that you'll have to probably start over. But I just feel like living a happy life and doing things that you're truly passionate about and that you actually enjoy doing and don't dread doing, it just makes life so much better overall. The ages like right around like the post-grad age, I know that's different for everybody, but we'll just say like 22 to 25 is so young. You are so young. I used to have this like crippling fear of just like numbers in my head. I would set ages like, okay, well, 24 is like really old. Like I have to have my life together when I'm 24. I remember being in college like, okay, well, when I'm a post-grad, like I have to have it all figured out. Like my life just, it has to come together. It has to be balanced, whatever. And there is no such thing as like one specific age that makes you old. Like I don't know why. I think a lot of people, younger people, struggle with this too. I remember like those tweets and everything of people who used to be like, you know, when they were 16 or whatever, saying that when they were 25 they'd be married, and now it's like they're 23 and they're like, LOL, what? And that's actually me. I think it's so easy to plan, you know, what your future will look like in terms of ages and whatever, but you just have to live and really not let the age of it all affect you. I'm trying to get better about that. Next up is that finances actually do matter. I know this is totally contradictory, but I don't want to be that girl to say, quit your job. Like who cares if you're not happy? Because if you have, you know, $0 in your savings account and no plan, and you want to just quit your job and like do something, that's risky. I'm not going to say don't do it, but it's risky. I think, yeah, your happiness definitely comes first, but at the same time, like if you don't know how you're going to pay for your meals for the next week, that's crazy and scary. Unfortunately, we do live in a world where finances do have to be considered. If it's between two jobs and one pays more but you would be less happy, I would say take the job that pays less, honestly. A lot of times in life I've made decisions and then realized the financial implications of them a little too late, so I try to keep that in the forefront of my mind. The last one, this is like a career thing that I am still learning. You don't know everything, so take advice from mentors or just people who know more than you. I think when I was, the video that I just watched, that version of me thought that she knew everything about the world, everything about how to run a company, everything about, you know, I would like be so quick to like criticize things about my job and be like, well, I wish that it was done this way. As if I knew how to run a company or how to run like a sales division. Like, what? You're 22 years old, you don't know everything. Even right now, I'm 23 years old. I don't know everything, and I don't really know much about anything, if I'm being honest. And I think that when we learn to be humble and admit that to ourselves, my mom always tells me this. She's like, you know, there's people in the world who know like a lot more about certain subjects than you, and you just have to, you know, be smart enough to take them as resources and learn from them. And it's so true. I feel like the learning never really stops, even post-college and stuff like that. Like now my learning is just through experiences instead of through a classroom, but it still is learning nonetheless. I'm working hard to take more advice from people who know more than me, because there's a lot of people out there who know way more than I do. And I think that's gonna wrap up the video, you guys. I just thought it would be a fun one to kind of throw in here. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm super happy in life right now. Of course, there's good days and bad days. I try not to equate everything to my job, if that makes sense. You know, if I'm having a bad day on a personal level, it doesn't mean that it's because of my job or because of that situation. I'm trying to like learn to detach the two. And I always say like, it's okay to have bad days, because like overall it's a happy life, you know. I want to end off the video by saying thank you, because if it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't have a job. Seriously. So thank you guys for, you know, watching my videos, whatever you do. Follow me on Instagram, listen to my podcast, whatever you do. That is how I'm able to live this life now, and it truly is a dream life. I wake up every morning and I think of you guys, and I just remember how thankful I am, because if it wasn't for you, I would probably be miserable still in Boston. So nothing wrong with Boston, just my job situation. But I love you guys so much, and I will talk to you all in another video super soon. Bye.